Hey, I'm Duke on Twitch. If you want to support the channel and greensunzenith.com, you can find my Patreon, merch store, and singles store where you can buy singles through TCG Player or Card Hoarder in the video description. If you want to get in contact, you can also find all that info in the description below for things like donation deck lists or just wanting to reach out. Alright, let's get right into it. Hey, welcome back to Dukes on Twitch. Back today with Maverick Joe's BANT Maverick challenge, where with a list of my choice, I have to try to trophy a Legacy League, and the outcome is $300, which is pretty cool. So this is take 2, a lot less blue, looking at just Uro and Spell Pierce, and a little bit of Prismatic Ending, I guess. The first iteration was playing things like Stifle and Hull Breacher, but it just didn't really line up the way we wanted, so changed a few things. One big thing is no Scavenging Ooze, trying out just relying on Endurance as Graveyard Hate, and Uro as Life Gain. Ooze hasn't really been a go-to silver bullet of mine recently, so just going to try out a league without Ooze, and also playing Spell Pierce over Flusterstorm because of some of the decks, like the Days Undoing decks. Being able to hit, in my opinion, cards like Khan or Teferi or Narset, or even artifacts and enchantments like Back to Basics is pretty strong. So I do like trying out Spell Pierce over Fluster. And the other thing is trying out some cool old tech. So just playing two main deck Jide, we don't have, or at least I couldn't find room for like 2 Stoneforge Mystics and a Kaldra and an equipment like a Jide, so I'm just going to play 2 Jides because I really wanted to power out with 5 Mana Dorks to make sure we're hitting mana for 3 drops early on, and then I wanted something for the Mana Dorks later in the game, and I think Jide is just a nice way to turn them into threats that our opponent actually has to deal with. It's also just a fine card overall. If anything, it turns 1 power creatures into 5 power creatures, which is great against some of the combo decks where you want to fish them off pretty quickly. It is removal, it is life gain, so Jide, pretty cool. Mind Sensor. Mind Sensor is a bit of a blast from the past, but I really like it against the Cloudpost decks, the Depths decks, the Stoneforge Mystic decks, Doomsday. A lot of the combo decks do search, so I do like that Avon is also just an evasive creature and a flyer, which is pretty sweet. So I am going to try out Avon in the sideboard. One sort of thing you don't have in this sort of deck is mass removal, like Plague Engineer, or like a Fiery Justice, or like a Punishing Fire with Grove kind of effect. So decks like Elves are very hard to beat. So we do have the Blasted in the sideboard. We also have Avon for things like Natural Order, Green Suns. Pretty happy with those. Also trying out Spirit. I think Spirit's a pretty cool hay bear right now. Maybe even a little bit more impactful than Thalia. I am still running 2 Sylvan Libraries. It's just so hard to cut it because I just want that card advantage. Which might be Stoneforge Mystic, to be fair, but for now I'm still pretty happy to play Library. It's those the decks that don't really hate out on card draw. Library is still pretty superb, and especially the sort of night matches. D&T I don't mind it against, especially to try to get ahead in the early game if they don't have like a Spirit or a Skyclave. Yeah, it's a hard one to beat, but I think the deck is kind of moving away from Sylvan Library, and it's one reason why I'm trying out Tireless Tracker. I think Tracker is really solid because it plays around any sort of Spirit or Hull Breacher effect. Spirit or Narset effect doesn't play around Hull Breacher, but it is also just a really nice threat that yeah, levels up. It's great with Mana Dorks because you can use the Dorks to draw off the clues, and yeah, just a Green Sun's target that is just a lot more impactful against some of these sort of Jeskai blue-white control decks that are just running a ton of basics, where Night just feels a little bit off. So yeah, going with a tracker as number 4 Night there. That's pretty much it. Yeah, I'm keen to play some games. And see how this goes, because yeah, Bant's a pretty awesome color combination that I'm a big fan of. So Hey Echo, hey Vegeta, Eldore, Northern Angel, welcome. I hope you're all doing well. I think these first two leagues are probably going to be a lot of sort of learning about depths. Oh, sorry, about BANT. Yeah, Northern Angel, that's a great point. Tracker is also a pretty nice threat, a little bit like Endurance, where it's not hit by Graveyard Hate and just keeps on slapping. All right, on the play, which is nice. And a pretty sweet hand. Turn 1 Noble, turn 2 Mum and Library. Could also lead on the Mum, but in this deck with so many 3-drops, I'm pretty happy leading on the Mana Accelerant. Especially if we're up against something like a combo deck, then drawing into Green Suns allows us to Green Suns collect Oof on turn 2. There's also a world where I keep the fetch land for the Library and just go Forest into Noble. But it is interesting. If we go Forest into Noble, we do cut ourselves off. If our opponent goes something like Volcanic Island into Bolt on Hierarch, we can't then follow up with both Wasteland and Mother of Runes. So there is a world where going like Windswept into Noble is better. Windswept, Savannah, Noble, Pass, Volk, Bolt, Noble, untap, play Mum, Wasteland. So yeah, I think I'm actually happy to maybe open that up. My opponent did mull to 5. So that makes me think they're on a combo deck, so I'm not too unhappy about like going for a duel here. How do we feel about Absolute Law? I think sadly at 3 mana, it's just a little bit too much. Deafening Silence is really strong. It doesn't hit elves, but it hits pretty much everything else. You've also got Aethersworn Canonist, which is quite good. Interesting. I'm going to start with Library here. Absolute Law is 2. What am I thinking of? All creatures are pro red? Something like Blazing Volley or the new one and the Festivities. If that saw like a really big rise, I would think about it. But I think like the 4 Mum builds in Maverick do enough to give you a lot of protection. This is definitely looking like a Hull Breacher-esque deck. This is where it's nice to have the fetch lands, because I don't really want any of these cards other than Thalia. But I will pay for the extra fetch. Also want to kind of play this game out as if I'm not on blue. It's always a nice thing about a light splash. Pretty happy just to go for basics here. What I don't want to see is like a brainstorm in response, because then like I guess they didn't brainstorm in response. If they brainstorm in response, I probably wouldn't play out the other Hierarch just in case of like a Terminus off the top. But I think here I'm happy to play the other Hierarch now and then attack for 2 with the Noble. But opponent doing nothing so far is not expected, especially for a deck that I assume is like a Ponder Brainstorm kind of deck. Drop. Okay. Well, that's a good Wasteland target. Hey, apple pies. Pretty good, thank you. Just had a week in Sydney for work, so it's nice to be back in my hometown. Opponent thinking pretty hard here. Uro's fine. Yeah, it could still be something like a blue-green Omnitel deck. Let's see what they put in. Nothing. Well, that's pretty big for us. This Wasteland's now online, which is cool. Green Suns would be pretty cool if we could find it. I am going to pay here just to dig. Play Wasteland. Hit the drop. Attack for 4. Wow, that is missing land drops. Okay. It's pretty good for us, I will say. I kind of want to see a little bit more from their deck, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm just going to Green Suns for Questing Beast here and try to shut them out. I'm also just going to get a Savannah to just really hide that blue. Nice. You're heading to Team Trios to play Legacy? Very cool. With Aggro Loam? Nice. Well, a huge good luck. That's very cool. I feel like people, obviously Charles isn't in the greatest spot, but I feel like Charles is in a really good spot when people don't think it's in a good spot. Okay. Put on top, but I'll pay for this. I kind of get a free attack with Mum here. Opting to play Sword instead, nice. I think it is so far behind that I can attack with the Mum. We also have the Scrib Ranger in case they try to like remove it. And like if they try to Swords one creature, we just have like Endurance and Scrib as other attackers. Tough spot for them. Especially double basic. Yeah. Okay. This is going to be an interesting match. I'm going to assume Jace, Supreme Verdict, and Terminus somewhere in the 75. So I do like Teeg here. I do like the Spirits, definitely. The Oof can come out. I can drop down on Hierarchs as well. I kind of like Hierarchs a little bit more than Birds in this matchup because of Teferi. Being able to play like turn 1 Hierarch, turn 2 Knight, they play Teferi bounce. We then have an Exalted creature to attack with. Otherwise with Bird we don't. I could see a Wasteland coming out. But I don't want to go too low on lands. There is a world like that game exactly where it's just really strong to have them. I'm going to go down on 1 Knight. The Ramming Up I think is a little bit overkill as well. I don't mind the Avens. Like, Aven kind of is my Wasteland in a way. It is like my... Actually, it's the Spell Piercers that I want, especially on the draw. I think something like this is pretty hateful. I also don't mind it like a Force of Vigor, just for back to basics or opposing Sylvan Libraries. This is all pretty cool. Endurance is also pretty sweet. I could see the Jidays just coming out. Not really a Jiday matchup. I do like the extra Endurance, I think. Have a quick check. I don't mind a cheeky Avon. I think we all like a cheeky Avon, don't we? Especially the ability to play some creatures in their end step is pretty powerful. Okay. Turn 1 bird, turn 2 Script Ranger and Library. Pretty sweet. We don't have the like the big ones. Opponent's gone to 5 again, which is pretty rough. No Thalia, no Spirit for us is pretty rough, but I think that's going to be okay. Wasteland. A land drop's actually pretty special. That's cool that you're enjoying Loam. Library, okay. It's a nice way for them to recover. I'm gonna start with Scrib. And then untap, return. Play. This puts a creature into the bin in case they want to like Teferi bounce the library. Interesting that they didn't pay for anything. I didn't expect that. Pedal? Well, I didn't expect that. Okay. Maybe I should have expected that. Alright, well I guess the deafening silences are coming in. And I'm probably going to take out the Swords to Plowshares. Haha. Well, they found a land, but nothing else. Let's see what we can do. Can we find that Force of Vigor? That would be sick. We don't, but we find Questing Beast. I mean, honestly, I think we just have to pay for all of these. And just try to jam. They're also Brainstorm locked, which is interesting. 1, 2, 3, untap, return. 4, beast. Attack for 8. Oh, they're not Brainstorm locked because of the library. They get to dig 1 deeper. Okay. Now they dig again. Ah, they hit the Cunning Wish. Okay. Okay. I do like the Force. I do like the Deafening Silences. I don't mind the early creatures either. The Avens don't do a whole lot. The track is too slow. The Teeg does stop shared summons. Swords can come out. Prismatic Endings can definitely come out. There is a world where Prismatic Ending is okay because it hits both Ice Fang and Uro and also Sylvan Library. I do want the Pierces. Yeah, Swords are coming out. Mums are okay, but not great. Interested to see them playing Lotus Petal. Not many blue-green Omni decks play Lotus Petal. Or Ancient Tomb to that effect, so maybe they've adapted. I do like the Knight. The Endurance can come out. Maybe there's a world where Avon just is like, maybe hitting fetches is better. I guess it also stops shared summons, which is interesting, so this might just be it, like just trying to tax in any way possible. This is a really nice hand, but I don't think it's great against Show and Tell. Turn 1 Dryad, turn 2 Library, turn 3 Knight. I think we just have so many good 1-drops in the deck that I'm happy to mulligan this. Okay. I'm going to drop a Wasteland here and Green Suns for Dryad Arbor turn 1. There's a world where we can nab a duel with Wasteland and land Thalia. That's pretty cool. The Savannah into Dryad Arbor also gives us an extra color for Prismatic Ending on 2 to take out a library. They only mulligan to 6 this time. Alright. Misty. They probably just go for basic here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, maybe last game there was a world where I guess we could, if we had Flusterstorm instead of Spell Pierce, we could have Wastelanded our opponent off the Ancient Tomb, left them with 2 lands, and then they would have Ice Fanged into the Shared Summon, or Cunning Wish into Shared Summons. We could have Flusterstorm with that. They chose not to shuffle. I think here I like just Thalia, attack for 1, and then next turn maybe Gaddock Teeg off Green Suns. If we can find another land to cast that for 2. I would love them to play out a Lotus Petal, because then we can just Prismatic Ending it straight away. Okay. This Ponder does mean they're tapped out for my turn, so if we draw a land, the Green Sun's Fatigue is definitely going to hit, which is kind of cool. It doesn't stop any of the creature lines though. No shuffle. Savannah. Now it's tough. We're definitely playing the Savannah. But now it's either Green Suns for Outland Liberator or Green Suns Fatigue. I think it might actually be Outland Liberator, because the Thalia does stop them from being able to Cunning Wish into Shared Summons. And the Outland Liberator can then just untap and take out the Omniscience. But I feel really vulnerable here, to say the least. Especially like a line here if they go like Ancient Tomb. Like Ancient Tomb, Show and Tell, Omniscience, and Emrakul would be brutal. Preordain. Put 2 cards on the bottom of their library. That's pretty big. Oh, and no creature. Or no land. No, they actually played the island. That's incorrect. That's pretty terrible. If they're playing the Tomb, they're definitely casting Show and Tell here. Or potentially something slower. No, here it is. It's not even worth putting in Thalia. Yeah. Four, 5, 6, 7. Tough. Hey, Robert, your mother, welcome. Yeah. I mean, we're losing everything anyway, so we might as well take out the Tomb right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. Yeah. Tough. Well, there goes the bounty. But at least now we can just try to like maybe make some more sense of the list that we want to play for the next one. Tough. Show and Tell is definitely one of those decks where you can have a tough time with Mav. You have different hate bears, but they just don't really line up the way you want. Hey, Runcore. Too good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I think we had a pretty nice clock. We had a 2-turn clock there, but they did have a fair amount of time to set up with Double Ponder and Preordain, which is tough. All right. What you got? I am not doing the challenge or the showcase, unfortunately. Not the greatest times for Australians because it's currently 10 PM on Sunday and I've got work at 8 AM. So the bigger challenges usually start about 1 or 2 AM, which is pretty brutal. It's a pretty nice hand. Pretty happy to keep this. How's new work going? Mint. It is really good. Just spent a week out in Sydney with the office, and it's yeah, it's a pretty nice place to work. Really enjoying it. which is really cool. I think opponent got mulligan to 5, so that's pretty interesting. The aggressive mulligans at game 1s always makes me think that they're on some sort of combo deck, but you never know. This is fine. We have the endurance, which is really nice. And I also just want to go for turn 2 knight, so let's just go for Savannah. No. I'm just going to endurance in risk. I guess I can let this resolve. Yeah, and then cast pitching the Scrib Ranger. They will get back the grief here, I believe. If they have a if they have an Exhume, actually, it's pretty good for us. We get the endurance back, potentially even the knight. There's a world if they have Exhume, they don't even cast it. Their last card has to be Reanimate Spell. That is the only reason you would keep that hand. Especially casting the Grief first to make sure that the coast is clear. Now it's probably just an awkward kind of spot where if it is Exhume, it's not that great. And like Mum lines up really well with Grief, and so does Thalia with First Strike, so just a really nice hand game 1 against Reanimator. Animate dead. Okay. I'll keep this in case they drew like a Thoughtseize or something. Definitely not lights out though. Opponent has some pretty nice draws, especially once you line up a way to put a fatty into the bin and also a fatty. Ah, they could reanimate our own creatures, that's very correct. I kind of just want to play out my hand here. Get all the mana down. They're attacking. Pretty happy to make that trade. Okay. Having sword is a lot better. But I feel like with our current clock, our opponent can play around the sword pretty easily. Alright. Green Suns. I think that's just going to be for Knight here. We don't have Ooze in the list as a main deck card, so I think Knight here is best. Just being able to grab a Karakas at instant speed. I think main deck as well, I'm pretty happy to attack for 2 here instead of holding back the Knight, the Mum. Reanimator. Endurance. Def. Spell Pierce. Nice cheap spells. The Beast is a bit slow. Tracker. Ramanap. Uro. Oof. Jits. I don't mind Spirits. Yeah, Avon's pretty sweet. Even just as a flyer as well. A little bit worse on the draw, but I think it's okay. Force of Vigor is always interesting as well because of Animated. Libraries are slow. Mums aren't the greatest. Mums are a little bit better with the extra spell pierces, etc. It might just be all prismatics. Bring in the mum. Something like this is pretty cool. I could see like mum out, force in. Hey, Mighty Penguin. Went one through with Abs and Mav last night. Got a pity pack of Kamigawa. Pulled up a Seiju. Yes. Yes. Very cool. That's a fantastic pity pack. On the draw, I really want to see Endurance. On the play, I really want to see Deafening Silence. I've been thinking about running like Surgical in the board as well as just like extra like turn 0 play against Reanimator. It's also good in like some other matchups we see. This is a pretty nice hand. Hold up Endurance and also Spell Pierce, or like Swords and Spell Pierce next turn. Dried Arbor for Endurance. Spell Pierce doesn't hit Grief, but now that it's a Fluster Storm. Chancellor. Evoke is cast, right? I believe so. I might as well Endurance here, because then I get the Endurance back if I really want it. Is that worth it? Hey Shade, welcome. Is it worth getting rid of the green suns here? And getting my own Endurance. I think it is. I think there's a world where I just die with spells in hand, so I might as well. Also hit the Chancellor trigger, which is nice. Just get rid of it. Oh. And now we get it back, and we can get rid of that looting, which is pretty sweet. Is it any spell? Yeah. Guess I get a Tundra to turn on the Spell Pierce. There's a world where I should just hold up Spell Pierce and Swords, in case they like entomb into something else. Yeah. Maybe that was better. Yep. Yeah, especially at 14 life, I don't really care about that Chancellor attacking or like getting in the attack with the endurance, so I think it is better just to hold back on the swords until their end step. Yeah, just sloppy play from me. Apologies. Apologies. Apologies accepted. Besage is always tough because you have to draw it as a one-of. There's no way to really tutor for it in this deck. That's the tough part. Because it does take up a slot of a card you're probably going to be tutoring for. I do like Besage in like Loam lists, or like maybe like Abzan with like Witherbloom command could be interesting. I don't mind going for a Pierce on this to see if they have Dark Rid or not. Just to tap them out. Makes them need to Dark Rid in response, yeah. Yeah, the turtle's pretty tough for Mav. For depths, I really like just trying to stick with your own plan. I think Tower of Magistrate does a lot there. Like, just go for Dark Depths, try to get Tower, and then get through any sort of tokens, and just try to stay off, like, having to care about the Blastoise too much. But it's a lot easier to say that than do it, especially when they can, like, turn 2 or turn 3 it, and it does take time to set up Dark Depths, etc. They went to 2? Oh, so close. Oh, so close. Like, Exalted in the air is 1. Attacking with all creatures gets 1 through. Yeah. Not good. Pretty happy just to resubmit. There is some thought on, like, Force over a Mum, because being able to hit an Animate Dead is just so nice. $10K Freeman. Yeah, that was my fault as well. Definitely swordsing in my turn is just incorrect. Should have definitely just waited. Like the 3, like swordsing there so I can attack is just not worth it. Especially when I do have like 2 instant speed spells, I should have taken more consideration there. Because like Spell Pierce on the reanimate spell, untap, swords. I'll keep this. pretty happy to lead on Tundra into Deafening Silence. Turn 2, play Noble, hold up Spell Pierce. Yeah, that's Maverick for you. That is definitely Maverick for you. One small error and it'll snowball. And it sucks because you have to wait there as well. I mean, like, a cracks at the top is a very small percentage, but that is the out there to being able to get back into that game. So, like, you make a mistake, you know it's going to cost you the game, but you've just got to wait a little bit. Alright. Lead on Deafening Silence. There's no, like, really quick starts from them, especially with, like, a Dark Rit start. The Spell Pierce doesn't do anything against a Grief start, so I don't want to rely on the Grief. On the Spell Pierce, I'd rather get down the Deafening Silence. I'd love to see, like, a looting here. Yeah, thankfully I wasn't around for Core Blade, but it did sound pretty interesting. Alright. They'd probably take the Pierce. It's kind of the outlier card here. I think I just like Noble here because it can attack by itself. Okay. Nothing. Oof. This is where it's kind of lame though, because now we are just dead to like Entomb into Reanimate spell. Yikes. Oh, really? Interesting. No Reanimate spell. That's something. They have 4 cards in hand. Animate dead. Alright. Take out the Hierarch. Ha 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 ha. Beautiful. Gotta love those top decks. Okay, that is a Dried Arbor. Come on, Endurance. Knight's pretty good. Nice. Alright, we're on the board. Very cool. Okay, okay. Actually, I think that Miami tennis finals are on. For any tennis fans, you should definitely check out the men's final. It's going to be pretty good. I think for me, it sadly starts about 3 AM, but probably worth getting up for. Gaz Nerd Warrior. Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind this hand. No way I'm getting up at 2:30. That's fair. That's fair. Highlights are pretty good. The there's a pretty good tennis YouTube channel that keeps all the highlights up to date. Underground Sea. Ugh. Doomsday. Yuck. No shuff. All right. Savannah Bird. I guess this could be like a Grixis deck as well. But I'm going to assume it's Doomsday. Which we have some stuff for. Hey Gizlo, welcome. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a nice weekend. Yeah. Could be like an Ant deck as well. Ant's been seeing some resurgence. But this definitely isn't a hand to fight against combo. Sadly. Hey, Council. The challenge is dead, unfortunately. They took the swords. Interesting. Ponder again. Huh. At least next turn, worst case, we get to play Uro and Mum. The challenge isn't dead, let's be honest. The challenge, we can still go. We have we're 2 challenges deep. What's happening here? I'm not too sure what my opponent is on. They chose to shuffle, which is nice for us. Wasteland's the big card that I want to find. Not Wasteland. Alright, let's start with Hero. I meant to draw first in case we draw Caracas. We don't, but that's fine. I think Mum here is okay. But maybe there's a world where Noble is better. If there's a world where like Questing Beast is our way back into this, if they're on like a slow Doomsday build. Brainstorm. Yeah, taking the swords is most likely because they are a slower build of Doomsday with like Baleful Strixes and Murktides. So having the Mum in play is quite nice. Nothing. I honestly think it is just going to be Questing Beast here to get some real damage going. One, two, three, four, five. Yeah, sadly not enough yet for Uro. I think either way it's going to be tough. Force Pitch Force. Okay. I think I'm pretty happy to attack here for one. Like there could be like a main deck Teferi or something, but otherwise there's no real main deck card I have to worry about. Look, it could also be like Shadow with just one Underground Sea in the deck, but I feel like they're cantripping in a way that they care more about some sort of combo. The Thoughtseize taking Sword is probably the only outlier there. Well, you never know. Wow, nothing? Look, they forced last time. Nothing. Like the other line there is to go for Knight and try to get like a Wasteland lock going, but I think pressuring life total here is better than going after their mana base. Oh, the swords. Okay. I'm going to start with Uro. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now it has to be Doomsday. Or else we just get there with Uro. Is there a reason to overextend? Because I'm not afraid of any sweepers. Also something like Strix into Murktide. I guess I can beat because the Mum gives pro blue. But I did want to have something in play that deals 6 or more, which is Uro. Marcus had a list? Okay. Let's have a look. Nice. Okay. I'm going to suspect it's Doomsday. Which is always weird with sideboarding, especially with the new versions. I do like spirits. I don't mind the spell pierces. I do like the endurances. Avon's actually pretty funny. Deafening Silence is fine, but not great. The endings I'll go down on because we have the swords. I don't mind going down on swords either, though. Especially with Mum in the deck, we have so many, like, and like Script Range just being a pro-blue creature is great against all their creatures. Track is too slow. Beast is nice because it can close out games pretty quickly. I could see a Mana Dork coming out. Even like a Library Liberator. Something like this. Uro at least can gain some life. I think we'll start with this and see how that goes. Teeg doesn't do a whole lot either. Just one of those weird combo matchups where Teeg is not really relevant. No. No. I mean, if my opponent thought seizes me, we just have a 7 land hand. Yeah, T can stop a force, but it also stops us from casting Green Suns, which is pretty huge. Yeah, this is actually a pretty good hand. I think the bottom here is honestly just Forest and keep the gas. You love to see it. Just a pass back. I didn't expect that. I think here I'm okay with playing the knight. Doesn't mean we don't have a green card for the endurance for 1 turn, but I think getting that knight into play to really pressure these jewels is where I want to be. Pedal's fine. Oof, okay. I'm going to sack the Savannah because of Massacre. I really don't like that card. Take them off black. Nice. That is how I like the Doomsday matchup to go. Nice. That was a good vibe. Big fan. Black Peep doesn't draw your card. Yeah. I know Brian Cook the other day was talking about Duress in Legacy, saying it doesn't have a place in the format. Should definitely check out his latest videos. I believe at the Epic Storm on all socials. Yeah, I don't mind this hand. The Mum's great against some of the fair decks. The Thalia and Oof good against the unfair decks. Forest. Ugh. Alright, we're looking at Enchantress. I was going to try to play like a D&T style deck for a little while. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's pretty good. See what they grab. What's actually good against this deck? I guess the forces are pretty good. That's pretty good. Well, at least I think we're on D&T. It's a cool little pop. The funny thing that is that like Caracas off the top is probably our best draw, but at the same time it's probably our worst draw. Alright. I wonder if this is just like a... Let's see if... Sway... Jizzy... No, nothing. I definitely like the forces. I don't mind the blast zone. That seems okay. I could see a wasteland out for the blast zone. They're playing Enchantress. I definitely want the spirits and the deafening silences. I don't think I want the endurances. The Jidays have been pretty dead this league. I guess Jiday just one hit does kill Devoted Druid, which is interesting. Oof. Most likely Uro. Beast is nice because it stops any sort of like prevent damage shenanigans. I could see Mums are pretty good, especially against any sort of like Source Plowshares or Ice. Liberator, yeah, Scrib. Probably libraries, or probably Jit and a library. Something like this. Oof stops the config combo. Oh, that's cool. Thank you. That's actually a really good pickup. I think it's just Jit. I think Oof is just a little bit better than Jit in that regard. Okay, so we could go for... I don't mind this. Savannah into Green Suns. Okay. Does that change things? Maybe. Maybe now it's just a case of deafening silence and then attack with Dried Arbor. Okay. Oh, nothing? I kind of like forcing this, but I also have the upside of drawing into a land and just be able to hardcast the force, not lose the oof. So actually I'm going to untap here, draw a land. No, but still. Plow this. Play the oof. Pass. This is fine. We have the ending for that. Oh, actually... Yeah, I think that's okay. I was going to go for Outland Liberator, but I think it's a little bit too slow. I think I like just attacking for 3 here. Try and signal off as many colors as possible. Nothing. I think I like just going for Outland Liberator now, especially while we have no cards in hand. Attack for 2. Okay. Sure. I don't think I want to tick this up here because we'd lose our 2 as well. Interesting. Is it just an exalted creature here so I can attack? Could also go for Gaddock Teeg and then use Liberator to take out Destiny Spinner. Enchantress. Hey Calvin. A huge thank you for the Prime sub. Too kind. Hope you're having a nice weekend. It's actually a tough one. Yeah, I don't think Teeg does too much either, unfortunately. It could just be Noble. Teeg does stop their green suns, which is kind of nice. Knight of Autumn would have been really nice in this spot, yeah. I think they just Green Sunned before Ramar. Yeah, they cast Green Suns X equals 2 for this. Oh, Force of Vigor. Didn't really expect that. If I did, I should have played out the extra Deafening Silence in hand. Yeah. Sure. Can I still respond? Maybe not. Yikes. I think I can respond to the untap. Oof blocks it, of course, yeah. Sorry, team. Sorry, team. Hey, HG Bud, welcome. Yeah, I assume we see like a on ice coming up potentially. Huh. Okay. I should have thought about Force of Vigor for sure. And like, there's no reason to have both the Arbor and the Wasteland open here. Well, I guess now we trade. These. That's actually pretty interesting. Because now we get to attack with the Arbor for 3. Take out this. Play this. You've got one Enchantress player local. You've considered a 3-1 Wasteland Ghost Quarter split. Really nice. I like that a lot, especially if you expect a deck like Enchantress. At least Blast Zone for 2 is looking pretty strong. Or just like Green Suns for QB, please, once? Once? Ah, so close. Not really, but we'll take it. Definitely attack. Triple. I think we take out the life gainer and draw a card, yeah, and try to get this bird into play, and then next time we can Blast Zone by putting it up to 2. Okay. That's fine. They have another creature? Huh. Just gonna do this now. That's pretty nice, because now we get to go 1, 2, 3, Blast Zone, and then attack with High Rock. Which means they have to draw into a creature. Tight game. For 3. Like Courser of Crufix? No, surely not. Like Knight of Autumn, Rexage. Wasteland. That's not worth playing. There's no great attacks here either, so it is just a pass. Come on, Green Suns. I need you. I need you right now. Yeah, QB is a big one here. Especially because all these creatures can't block it, which is pretty sweet. Come on now. Oof. Still not too bad. We get to deal with this and then attack and make them have to block with one creature. Hold up. It can bounce itself. For 2, it is held up, yeah. At least then they have to lose one of these, I guess. We're kind of like prismatic ending one of these in a way. Yeah. That Wasteland here is still better for us because it's 5 mana for QB, so there's going to be no Wasteland there. I don't even want to show it. But, Loigoif, nice one. Nice one. Sadly, this actually is a good spot for Jide as well. I didn't realize how many creatures they have that don't have Shroud. I'm used to like the Shroud kind of version. So if there is a game 3, definitely bringing those back. Opponent having a think, but they only have, or am I having a think? Is my internet? Am I lagging? Surely not. Chat, what's up? We're good. Okay, we're good. We're good. Yeah, it must just be them thinking, but I'm not too sure about what. Like, we know their hand. It is that one creature, which they'll draw a card off with this. Sup, fella? Hey, Fox. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Look, I'm going to take this time to plug, so if you want to find me on YouTube, you can find me here. If you want to find me on Twitter, hey, guess what? I'm on Twitter. I tweet. It's a thing. But yeah, really, I need a good top deck here, or else it's just going to be a bit of a time walk with this 1/3 body. Oh, they play nothing. What? Hold up. Hold up. Hold the phone. Where's that card? Ah, can they channel it? What does channel do? Ah, what's the card called now? Here it has channel. Okay. Card. Shigeki Jukai Visionary. Discard it, return target. Return X target non-legendary cards from your graveyard to your hand. Interesting. That's a lot. That is a lot. I guess the deafening silence means they can't actually do a whole lot. So let's start with attacking. And they have to block, right? Discard it, return X target non-legendary cards from your graveyard to your hand. Yeah, Mum's going to be huge here. Now I will play the Wasteland and take them off this Savannah once they channel. So they can currently get back target non-legendary cards from your graveyard to your hand. I assume it doesn't include lands. Oh, can they get back Devoted Druid and Swift and then try to go off that way? But they need something else, right? They need a way to actually pump something into it. Yeah, it doesn't say non-land. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 mana. Good thing Sarah's is legendary? Yeah, definitely. I don't think anything in land answers silence, because the only thing so far has been Force of Vigor, which isn't a permanent. Prismatic Ending, not a permanent. Yeah. All their creatures are green as well, so they kind of have to... They can't get this into play either because it's legendary, so they can't gain life. Yeah, it's a tough one. Oh, it's card? Ah. Yikes. How much does the channel cost? Green and 2. So green and then 3, 4. They can get back 4 cards. Living Wish, Force of Vigor. Ah, rough. Yeah, that's just gonna be it, right? Yeah. They have to have another green card, right? Because they can Living Wish for Emrakul, they have the mana for it, but they need Force of Vigor and a green card? Oh, they can hardcast it. Ah, rough. Yep. Yeah. Tough. Yikes. Yeah, they can hardcast Force. I didn't even think of that. Tough. Yeah, it gets around Summoning Sickness, which is pretty brutal. They got to turn 1 us in game 1. Yeah, really cool. Really could just like a win a game out of nowhere. Rough. But that's the tough thing about Maverick. You don't have too many like I win buttons like that, where you can just like jam a win out of nowhere. Like you could play like Wasteland, like Owl kind of win out of nowhere is like a Wasteland at a good time, or like that's really it. Maybe like Oof, but even Oof is getting worse in like the I win sort of positions. A lot of Storm decks are playing Burning Wish. Like 8 cast is just Kappa. Tough. Alright, hopefully we can finish this on a high. Oh, all right. Cillian. No mana. Pretty easy mulligan. Okay. Happy to keep this and bottom second Thalia. There is retreat, I guess. Opponent goes to 6. Grove? 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 I don't want to wasteland into a crop, so pretty happy just to pass. Okay. I kind of now want to take them off the Grove here. I think that's a fine play, especially against lands. They have a pretty tight mana base. That makes sense. I don't mind just holding up Endurance here. It's probably just the play. I think that's better than trying to cast the Thalia. Nice. No second Punishing Fire either, which is pretty cool. Yeah, it's a good one, Goif. That was just because I'm not sure. I am not sure if that is something that is... if I can actually respond. But if I can, then that's definitely a really good, yeah, a really good move to do that as well. Okay. We're definitely attacking first. And then honestly, I think it's just going to be Green Suns for Knight here. Oh, the oof still works underneath when it's equipped? I didn't know that. That was definitely then a, yeah, pretty incorrect. Okay. Hmm. Is there a way I can attack with both here and kind of like get my opponent? Like if I attack with the Knight, is there a way that they like block and then bog me with both to try to trade like one Reclaimer, but then I can Scrib Ranger untap the Knight? I think I can attack with both. No. Yeah. I can attack with both here. Hey Chris, thanks for the follow. Hope you're well. Oh, they're not going to do anything. That's interesting. In that case... I'm actually not going to do anything. Because I want them to put the mana into Saga here to tap them off. Nice. Untap the Knight, return the Savannah. Just want to get rid of this now. There is a world where like Tabernacle can get me here. Because we can't get Cradle off the Caracas. Especially if they have like Mox Blast Zone. Oh, Mox into something? No, they don't. They're just gonna pass? Okay. I think I could have thought about that a bit more, but that's all good. Force of Vigors, yes. Endurances, yes. Mind Sensors. Crops, yeah, I don't mind that. I think Avens are better than Thalias. The Jidays are, I don't mind like one Jiday. I think I'll just take out 2 mums, especially with like Blast Zone in the deck. This is probably where I want to be. I don't mind Blast Zone though. I think Blast Zone's better than like Tundra. I think Fetch is better than Tundra. Yeah. One drops are a little bit tough, but I think we're going to be okay. Having like multiple ways to get to 3 mana ASAP for like Aven or Knight or Endurance is just really, really nice to have access to. No, this hand is just a little bit tough on mana. A bit of a yikes, but I think I was bottoming the Uro. Double Endurance hand's kind of nice. Jerry, too kind. A huge thank you. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a coffee. It would be Sunday morning, I believe, so hopefully coffee in hand. How's your weekend? How's your weekend, Jer? What'd you get up to? Reclaimer, okay. Okay. Nice. Chill weekend with the family? Very nice. Very glad to hear it. Okay. Is this just going to be like a tabernacle? No, surely not. Just another wasteland? Yeah. This is fine. I think I'm happy to double fetch here. Save the wasteland for now. Fetching in response. And cropping. Okay. This is fine. Opponent really aggressive on these wastelands. But hey, I'm going to be able to play a library here. Got an online mum. Double endurance. Pretty happy. Yeah, not too sure why they would have done that, like, not in... Yeah, there's a few questions here, but... Maybe they have some sort of plan in mind that I just can't see. You can have your Maze of Ith. Okay. Honestly, put on top, but I'll pay for the planes. I don't have to swords here. I do get a little bit hit if they go like Yavimaya, hold up, reclaim a pass. They can trade away the maze for something else. I think I kind of like just swordsing here. But I don't really care about the reclaimer at this current point in time. But I do just want to get rid of it, so I think this is fine. Yeah. Okay, well, we get the old 3-2. Opponent, yeah. Interesting. We get a chest, which is cool. And a resto, nice. One of my first creatures from standard, which is pretty sweet. BANT. Alright. Yeah, I think it's gonna have to have a Stoneforge Mystic package. I think it fits really well with Mum, especially as a 4-of. I think just Mum right now is quite nice, especially against Delver. Like having so many Mums is just really nice. And I think that maybe finding room for 2 Stoneforge and a Caldra and a Jit. So taking out a Jit there's definitely something here, but yeah, it's tough. The blue doesn't add as much as I really want. Like the Uro's nice. We never really green sunned for it or felt like we needed to. Night of Autumn, I think, is just like it's just too much value to give up these days. Did I make a copy? Okay. Properties. All right, let's go to DeckTech. There we go. All right. It could be like a place of just needing more haymakers in the deck. Spell Pierce was kind of nice. I do like that it hits Planeswalkers. That's probably the big thing. And then also like, you know, Back to Basics or Blood Moon or Equipment is pretty cool. Fluster is nice, but there's not too many Fluster decks running around, which is pretty tough. So like, I think if I was going back to it, I'll definitely play the Night of Autumn. I'll definitely find room for like, I think 2 Stoneforge is fine. And of course Caldra. Because Caldra just wins games. Like Caldra is just so hard to beat for some decks. Especially when you have Mother as well. Yeah. So the challenge is to stay on BANT. Which I do think there's some really powerful cards. It's just trying to make sense of like how to really encapsulate the power in Maverick, which is pretty tough. Like I think Uro's a pretty fine fit. Spell Pierce is really nice alongside like Wasteland and Thalia, but of course a lot of the decks that you're playing Spell Pierce against where you want it to be great are playing basics as well, which is tough. But I do think like a Stoneforge package would be cool as just a really nice way, especially against the deck like Elves. Like we didn't have too much other than like Teeg, so having like a really nice early pressure piece is good. Yeah, I definitely want to get back to Punishing Mav. I think Punishing's pretty sweet. I think Pyroblast and like the Blast effects are in a really good position. And Mark always puts up pretty solid results with Punishing, which makes me really want to try it out a lot more. Like, is there a world where I could just cut on the libraries and like my card advantage is like Tireless Tracker, Stoneforge, and then for the really long games like Uro and Ramanap with Canopy? It's kind of cool. I still think Ooth is worth it even with this package, just because of how Ooth is kind of like a lights out kind of card for a lot of decks. It's tough. It is tough. You'll definitely find the next one on YouTube, which you can find below. Yeah, so the big reason that I cut the fourth knight in this version is because Uro kind of does the same things in like developing mana a little bit and also pressuring, and Tireless Tracker is just like the 3-drop that I want to be green selling for against like the blue-white X control decks, which is tough. It could even be going down to 2 knights. Like, Knight's obviously like a core of the deck, but against a lot of the decks where you want Knight, like Cloudpost, as soon as you find 1, that's it. You only need the 1. So that's pretty tough. The lands tonight were pretty good as well. I'm only running 22, which like with Dried Arbor being 21, like Cradle isn't really, it's like half a land. Like it's kind of like half and half a land, which is like 21 in total is pretty tough, which is why I liked the extra mana dork. There is a world where I could like drop Noble Mum, potentially Thalia number 3, and run 3 Once Upon a Times. That would be kind of cool. That also gives me some more edge against the Reanimator decks where I'm running Endurance as my turn 0 graveyard hate. But it is 12:30. It is 11:30, and right now my brain is just a little bit off deck building. So a huge thank you to you guys for coming in and watching. A huge thank you to Maverick Joe for putting up the challenge. A huge thank you to new followers and subscribers. I hope you guys have an amazing weekend, and I'll be back soon. Playing my mate Matt tomorrow night with some Highlander and Legacy. But that should be on his channel, Scoop and Response, which you can find on YouTube. And that should be up hopefully next week at some point, which is pretty cool. Let me quickly see who is playing. The NRG series is actually streaming, which is cool. So I'm going to send you guys over there. I know that Anzi put a lot of time and effort into getting this together, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, until then, all the best, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.